arbitration that was scheduled for Thursday regarding a matter with the teachers union. Unfortunately, that had to be postponed due to the death of a family member of one of our principals. So that will be rescheduled sometime in the future.
Thank you. The superintendent's update, anything to add from last week?
Just two things. I just want to address two things. First, I want to address, and this came from Ms. Gardocki, and I think I need to share it. Hopefully there's some Kelly teachers online. Just when I follow up with principals just to see how the start of the year is, my concern this year was definitely a little bit more higher for Kelly just because of the renovation project, making sure students are safe, making sure our programs and our practices are meeting the students' needs, asking her some things, and this is mainly coming from Ms. Gardocki to her staff. So I just want to say that she appreciated their participation and flexibility for the start of the year. Staff has been great, which has supported the transition to the beginning of the year, and all staff were on hands and present and available this year, and has made changes due to the renovations, and they're quick to adapt. And we always say in the military, we got to adapt quickly, plan for the worst, hope for the best, and that's kind of what we were hoping for. We planned to plan. Meeting the needs of our ESL students. As you'll see, our numbers of our ESL students have increased dramatically this year, which is great for the district. It's really great for the district, really great for the community. But we appreciate that the staff was willing to use, apps, software programs to be able to communicate, send documents that are needed. We're not perfect at it. We're going to try to continue to get perfect at it. But I appreciate the effort from our staff and both staffs, but we do have a huge influx in Turner. I want to do a shout out to Ms. Fligger. She has transitioned from a teacher for 20-something years to be an ESL teacher. We used to contract out for that position with the AIU. Last year, Ms. Mosso felt, she saw this need. We saw this might be coming, and we thought it's going to be more cost effective to have somebody in-house where we have the flexibility. She has done a great job working with our families, our ESL families, and has even coordinated transportation for our families to attend a resource fair at the end of the month down at the AIU, which is great. So if our ESL families are listening, please go to that if you can. And she has been and will be sending more information out. Our teachers meeting our new staff, our new students and families at the door, being proactive, meeting supporting our students, making plans, creative with the space that they have, keeping the hallways. That was my concern. It was a couple days before school, and I know Mr. Hufford I was on him pretty quickly. I'm like, this looks like a disaster. It's not ready. We're not ready. And they made a point to work that weekend. We had a bunch of teachers working that weekend, and luckily, with the parents coming in, the place looked like it was spotless. And the custodians and the maintenance staff did a great job, and our teachers did a great job with the little space they had, moving things around. Changes with the co-teaching. It seems like it's going pretty well. We're checking in on them regularly. They seem pretty happy about it. Hopefully the data is good at the end of the year. And we have some teachers with different personalities. I got to see some of them, and totally two different personalities. They seem like they're getting along pretty well. Our data collection with Mrs. Tassadori is almost complete, or probably complete by now. All right. So that's done pretty quickly this year. Lastly, I want to thank everybody communicating, our veteran teachers, the new teachers on staff, the co-teaching, sharing spaces, and Ms. De La Paz, just being there. Each day that I was there working with our family, she is one of our Spanish teachers, and she did a great job just being present with Ms. Fligger as well. So it was a team effort from everybody, and hopefully they're listening. But I've never done this before. I want to give a coin to the Kelly primary staff, custodians, maintenance support, and principals. So we'll figure out how to frame this for everybody. All right. for the entire staff. I don't have enough, we don't have enough coins to give out to every single teacher. We'd have to order a lot more coins. But I know it was a challenging year, so. I have one other thing. Speaking about, the buildings and being ready to go, we have a staff member who's been with us for, I think, 2 years now, going on 3, Mr. George Trent. Been around a lot of custodians. We have a great custodial staff. Very proud of the custodial staff. I'm sure everybody's going to get, recognized at some point. But in my 26 years in public education, I've never seen one custodian get, as soon as I walk in the building, Mr. Trent about this, Mr. Trent about this, Mr. Trent. It's done before they even ask. He's like, like the Radar O'Reilly. It's before it's even asked, it's done. And I know the week, even for Turner, getting things ready before the start of the school year. If I need something on a weekend, I'll never forget. I was away last year, I think it was. I was away, and Ashley had an event, and we needed something. I was concerned. He had it taken care of. Ease of mind, I know he lives up the street, but I also need to tell him to slow down, because we need you here for 10 or 15 years. So I need you to, I don't need you to slow down to stop, but I need you to slow down to where you can't do it all. You can't be all. But we appreciate you. The staff over there truly appreciate you. The administration, the building is what it is, because he's now our daytime custodian for the last year or so, almost a year. But he's a unique guy, and he connects with our kids. So he's more than just the building custodian. He is connecting with our families, our kids, our staff, and making sure we're ready to go every day. So I want to say thank you.
Yeah, good move. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
For all the student of the month.
Yeah. Little certificates of merit. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Did you want to say anything, Mr. Trent?
I'm just here because,
I always call him George. I never call him George.
when I got hired, I told Ed that I will never put no stress on him, and when me and Dr. Joe talked, we always like, slow down. I said, sir, I'm here to do the job that you hired me to do. The less stress I can take off of him, I'm okay. And like, I have girls at home, so there's a lot of ladies in the building, so I know I have to take care of that, so I'll stay okay.
That's right, that's right, that's right.
And grandchildren.
Yeah, my grandkids. So I enjoy what I do, but thank y'all very much. But I'm not going to, I'm gonna still keep up with everything, so you don't have to worry about it.
Thank you
I got
so
it.
much.
Thank you. You do.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, student of the month. Are we gonna, who's gonna go first?
Rachel.
Rachel's doing everybody, yeah.
All right, so our student of the month from Kelly is Michaela Mock. She is in the Survey second grade class. So this is a note from his survey. I chose Michaela Mock from my second grade class for September because she sets a positive tone in our classroom daily. She participates with enthusiasm, especially during Hagerty and ECRI lessons. She loves reading, as demonstrated by her frequent requests to read in our classroom library. She follows the school rules and procedures by following the 3 Ps: be ready, be kind, and be safe. When chosen as the line leader, she showed responsibility by modeling good leadership skills. She used her class quiet sign and modeled good hallway behavior. Michaela is a kind friend to all and encourages others to do their personal best. I am so glad I have Michaela in my classroom every day. Congratulations and keep up the good work. Okay, we're gonna hear.
No pictures. Congratulations, Michaela. We won't keep the spotlight on you anymore. Ms. Jordan, are you going next?
I am going next.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jordan, for those of you that don't know me, and I am really excited tonight, boy. I'm here on behalf of Principal McClellan, who was unable to be with us tonight, and also Mrs. Fortier also was unable to be here. So tonight, I'm going to read this is from Mrs. Fortier. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. The student of the month, Avier Jones. Avier Jones is the perfect student to represent the student of the month. He comes in every morning with a smile on his face, cheese it up, okay, and is eager to learn for the day. Avier follows all of the Tiger expectations of being responsible, taking ownership, displaying a positive attitude, being responsible and safe. Avier shows his manners in and out of the classroom. He uses kind words when talking to his classmates or to any of his teachers in the building, and even at lunch and recess. He is always willing to help out in the classroom with jobs around the room or to help a classmate. Recently, we had a new student added to our class, and this student is from another country. She is not English speaking as her first language. Avier, this is just absolutely amazing, made this student feel more than welcome with his smile and warm personality. He encourages this student to try to do her best. He has explained how to do assignments and lends a helping hand during all activities. Because of Avier's thoughtfulness, this new student is more than eager to learn and participate in class. She was very shy. This one brought it out. Avier is an excellent role model to all of our students at the school. He is exactly what our safety patrol needed on their team. When I asked him if he wanted to go down and ask Officer Boyce about the safety patrol, his face immediately lit up. He recently received his safety patrol belt, and all of the kids cheered for him in the hallway. Avier had a smile from ear to ear. Avier is a wonderful example of a student of the month. I am so proud of him and his example that he sets for the students at Turner Intermediate. Okay, come on, Mrs. Fortier. Okay, he always does the best, and congratulations on this award, Mrs. Fortier. Now, after that round of applause, go ahead. Give it up. So now, little Jordan has a little added insight. Join tonight, I would like to introduce Mom, Miss Patrice, Dad, Mr. Anthony Sr., Sister Anela, who goes to Kelly, and also Brother Anthony Jr., who is over here to support Avier. He said his favorite food is oodles of noodles. Why wouldn't it? Chicken nuggets and fries also go along with the oodles and noodles. Favorite sport is soccer. He loves to play Roblox, and sorry, his favorite class is, I know you're never going to believe this, it's gym. Can you imagine? Gym class, okay. He wants to be a doctor when he is older because he wants to help the community, which I love that. And his dad has a special nickname for him. Are you ready? It's called Ace Boogity. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to call him Dr. Ace Boogity whenever he becomes a doctor. So give it up for Avier. We love you so much. Congratulations.
That smile, I just.
Give him a congratulations to
Yes.
our students of the month.
Oh, yeah, he gives it.
Congratulations. And also, shout out to the nutrition group for these bobas that we keep handing out to all the kids. So thank you so much for those. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, the committee reports. Any updates to Kelly renovation? Any changes?
No, actually, lots posted right now. We've been meeting every Thursday, as you folks know, but we had an update a lot about the ventilation and the new restoration stuff. And actually, I think our utilities are going to about break even. That was the hardest thing to deal with. The dams have been closed in our building, which doesn't allow air circulation. So that's all going to get remedied with the new system, which will be zoned. So it's all exciting. It's all exciting. It's going in the right direction.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you so much, Jim.
sure.
Any changes to the Safety and Security Committee report?
Now, we did meet last Thursday, discussed a few days. We're gonna have 2 presenters the following month on some more safety things that we might be able to add to our PCCD grant, which they might be able to pay for.
I see the Finance Committee reports have been added. That meeting was last week. Anything else that either of you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. The Joint Tax Committee did meet yesterday. We did have a quorum, and what we went over were the updated policies and ordinances. So of both the borough and the school district. Now those policies and ordinances, the language will match. I apologize that I didn't actually get them into here, but I will have them in for the meeting minutes, so you guys can review those. And what was happening was there was a lot of references to things other than abatement. It was using this other language to refer to tax abatement and tax compromise. So we cleaned all the solicitors cleaned all that language up. And now the ordinance and the policy match. So what the school district says is what you have to do to meet the criteria is the same thing as what the borough says you have to do to meet the criteria. And it clarified the criteria of the compromise and the abatement, which I guarantee you I will still screw up if you just ask me to say it off the top of my head.
Are they separate things? Compromise and
Yes,
abatement?
they are different. One, you own the property, the other one,
You're
you are buying the property. That's the main difference.
Abatement, buying,
Yes,
compromise,
yes. Now that they're cleaned up, we will get their first reading on the agenda for next month for us. The Borough Council has also agreed that they're gonna put it out there next week in their first working session of October, so they'll be voting on it for the first time in October. We should be able to ratify, approve the final reading of it at the same time. We're in agreement on that, so
That all
Exciting.
sounds excellent.
it's exciting.
Yeah. Are we also amending our process to be, a majority of a quorum?
That's
that's on.
That's the
agenda.
different, that's the land
That's a
bank.
different process.
A
Yeah.
whole different thing.
A whole different thing. So the Joint Tax Committee doesn't actually have the land bank properties don't go through the Joint Tax Committee. These are separate properties that only come through when somebody applies to these programs. And again, the one, you have to be a current owner, the other one, you are purchasing a property.
Okay. And we haven't seen these because no one has applied.
Essentially, that's the case, yes. And so what we did, so when this iteration of the committee, myself, LaTanya, now Ashley, and Sabrina, forgive me, I'm gonna forget.
Bill,
Sabrina, Bill, and Mike McMullen are the ones from the council. Now that we've become the group, we decided when we first met, we wanted to go over these policies and ordinances so we could advertise. We wanted to make sure that the policies and ordinances were straight and set, and the forms were set. And Mike's been updating the borough website. It's not live yet, but he's been showing us in committee what the updates are. And he has a plan for yard signs to try and advertise these things. So next time we meet, which may not be next month, but the next time we meet, we will go over what that marketing plan will be. So, yeah. Even though we have only had one application this year, we still try to meet pretty regularly to try and get that stuff going. Parks and Rec, we don't have any updates right now.
Just, Mike did want to do an update
Oh,
next
does he?
month.
Yeah, he can come, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put him on, depending on when you guys do yours, we'll put him on the opposite. So if you want to do you should do all your stuff planning, and we'll put him on legislative.
Gotcha.
Forbes Road East,
you just gotta tell
Anthem,
Mike. Just tell him.
5 minutes, no, 10 minutes for Mike,
Oh, yeah.
sorry. Forbes Road East, any changes from your last update?
No, the next formal meeting is on Thursday, so I will go and report back.
And I have been communicating with the principal there and their secretary, so we're gonna we already developed a plan, a date for student tours. For our students, we will figure
For
out
our kids.
for our kids.
Oh,
So which-
amazing.
Yeah,
So we gotta identify which programs EPS doesn't offer, because this may actually, we possibly could get some cyber for charter students back, you never know. We just gotta figure out what that looks like. So we'll have a parent evening presentation of the programs that are offered there. It'll give us a chance to also show the programs at PPS, but show the programs that they have offered there. And then there'll be, she sent me 2 different dates for the student tours of the buildings. And then the parent informational session is in March. So,
That's good. So we're gonna take our 6th graders?
no, we'll end up taking it's a 10 through 12 program. So we'll end up taking our current 9th graders. All the other schools, they take their 9th graders. So what we'll have to do on our end, it's gonna look a little different. So if we had our own, it would be easy if we were in our own building. So we'd have to send out a mass email to all of our 9th grade parents and send to our cybers and the charters and say there's an opportunity in Wilkinsburg School District for your students to attend because we pay for it.
Right.
The only thing we would have to pay for then, if we got a certain number of kids, transportation.
Right.
And their schools appears to be excellently run. Like the kids are all in there doing stuff. They're building cars and like walls and repairing roofs. It was amazing. They're running an active factory that is like it's like a supply factory, like a little tiny Amazon logistics factory. And they are actually the shipping agent for like real businesses. So it was wicked to watch. And I do think it's a great opportunity
Do
for
they
the
get
kids.
tours? Like,
They
I
gave
already-
me one. They were happy to.
I
And what I was gonna tell you is they want, oh my gosh, ask for the hour tour. They will show you every program in that building. 'Cause
yes,
they're working in every single room. It's
I
amazing.
think I know some people that need to take that tour.
We never had a problem before, but it was just that when we partnered with.
we have to send them there for certain programs.
Exactly.
Right.
And nobody's ever come to us to say that they didn't have it, they needed it, you know what I mean?
When I talked to the marketing director, she said they start their advertising at the younger levels, even in elementary school and middle school, because kids don't know it's an option. And like, it's like an education campaign, just like this is available to you. And they
Like
do
you
that
start
early.
college.
Is
but-
So there might be an opportunity for some of our oldest kids. Like, I don't know if she'd go for, we have 4th graders.
Yeah.
4th graders might be a little young, but she might.
Well, we do our future readiness, so that's part of our future readiness to look at the career clusters. So they can put in there the PPS programs, the Ford Road programs, and those careers. And these are the opportunities for you, but we can start with 5th grade.
Yeah, oh, I guess I was thinking, and she might be happy to come and like present those in a way, because I think she does that.
It's in the
And
same way, it's probably the same way.
yeah, if you met her, you would remember. I forget her name, but she has like boundless energy, and I'm a believer now, so she worked on me. Anyway,
Katie Bishop.
yeah. That's enough on Forbes Road, but I'm excited because I think college and career opportunities are important for the kids.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you both. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Eastern area schools, I attached, or Dr. Joe attached, I gave them to Dr. Joe, the meeting minutes from 8/22. They are there. I believe I've given the report on that, and now I don't remember any of the details, but the details are now there in the meeting minutes. And the agenda for what will be this Thursday. So, yeah, any questions or anything you want me to represent in that, just go over the agenda and let me know, but, yeah, that's it. All right, Wilkinsburg Land Bank, any updates from them?
Yeah, so forgive me this month. I forgot I was not at planning. Forgot. But nothing new outside of the current properties that have been, or lots, I should say, properties that have been sent over for our approval. One thing of clarification regarding these particular lots, these haven't been like purchased. This is like the step to figure out and decide if these will be the lots that we would want to purchase. We also discussed a number of things. One, reasons for not adding the address just for like safety protection of properties, right? We know what people do with abandoned properties. The other thing we discussed, and I just forwarded you all the minutes from the August meeting, so then we can have that added to board docs and you can look those over. We ratified a resolution for it's called a GEDTF grant. It's the Gaming Economic Development Tourism Fund, so it's just additional, the land bank is only able to acquire grant money or money from like the state. We can't fundraise, we can't do any of those things. So this is just another grant that they are applying for, or we are applying for, I should say. And there was an approval of an engagement letter with NBM to pursue the sheriff's sales actions for land bank identified properties. There was a public event this past Saturday, and there's one coming up on October 10th from 6 to 8. Open to anyone who may want to table at these events. So if someone is interested in participating, you can do that. And we are still in a process to fill one more seat. So there's an open seat on the board, and there will be some process to appoint an additional board member.
Is that a community-based seat, so anybody in Wilkinsburg?
Anybody, don't have to be a Wilkinsburg resident.
Okay. So what, is there criteria for it, or?
It's like your typical board, what does the board need? Do we want someone with, a legal background, or
What do you think
we haven't,
would be beneficial? What experience?
someone who's in like architecture, actually,
Oh, yeah.
the architecture, yeah. And I know someone in the community that does that. So someone who is familiar with that, because I think, we talked about, when you do a sheriff's sale, you can't go inside.
Right.
But we talked about like, what would it look like to partner with the Boot Up program at Community Forge, where the kids, they do a lot of drone work. So we can use a drone to like look over and see like the roof and really investigate as much as we can about a property before we actually choose to acquire it.
And that's good, because I do know on their first list, there's 2 houses on there that they were supposed to take off, because
Yes, there's the one that's in the middle, like
Yeah,
the row house.
they're gonna need, it's gonna need
It's
too
too
much
much,
work,
yep.
yeah.
And so we talked about that too at the board. Those were conversations that we ultimately had. All of these lots, Renee has actually gone to each one to look at. Because even when you do a Google map, it's not the most current image. Like there were some properties that were covered in trees on Google, but when you went, it was clear. So Renee is doing that, but moving forward, if there's ever a property that's a set of row houses, if we can't acquire a whole thing, it just doesn't make sense. Because if there's 2 abandoned, connecting properties.
When we vote, do we take those 2 properties off, and do you know what their lot and block number is for us not to vote on?
Or did you confirm that those things that are attached?
The ones that are attached are the ones that
That's the
don't.
new ones, okay.
Right, yeah. I made sure she double checked and looked.
When I told you, okay.
Well,
yeah.
and we double checked each, yeah.
Right, and I didn't I'll forward you the agenda, but the updated lots, those won't be, we're not requesting to acquire.
Yeah,
those.
they're off of that.
Yeah, Kate was at the meeting too. We all were in agreement. We were like, no, we're in agreement. This, I think ultimately for all of us, right, it's new. And so there's just things as we're creating this land bank that just aren't set yet.
Yeah.
So as we come across these properties or lots, whatever, that are being presented, we're figuring out what makes the most sense. Because my question was, well, why don't we put the address? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess that.
Yeah, you don't want people stealing the copper wire, you don't want
Yeah.
people trying to break in, yeah.
And the lots, it's public information, so if people are that interested. And every meeting we've had so far too, we have been having community members show up who are interested in acquiring the properties and being a part of how we bring more home ownership into the community. So we are encouraging it. When we're in the meetings, we're thankful that people are present and showing up and interested. And we're telling them to tell more people, right? Because this isn't something that we want to be in a tunnel. We want everybody to be aware, this is something to help, improve the economic, status of our community. So I will forward the agenda, and similar to
when the September minutes are completed, I'll forward them for you to review.
Awesome.
You do have the August minutes in your emails now. And
Can you, sorry, what's the process for the search for the new board member and what that looks like?
so we talked about nonprofit talent, because you can request for board members. We'll also just publicly share, like on the Land Bank website, on our social media, and word of mouth. So if you know
Okay.
people who may be interested.
So then you just
Um,
email Renee like an interest statement?
Yeah,
and
I
a
think
resume?
when we put a call out, I think we'll need a resume, a statement of interest, and then, you know, I imagine there will be like some interview process. That's typically how I've done board things on other boards, so, yeah.
And what date are your meetings again?
Okay.
Sorry.
They're Mondays, yeah, because I have those other pit meetings, and I'm like, so much.
Man, you just every evening, huh?
What was that meeting date? Is it the first or the second? I think it's the
Sorry.
second Monday.
I just wanted to make sure anybody listening could like.
No, you're correct. And also the website for the land bank, wilkinsburglandbank.org, all of the information is on there, and
Perfect.
people can attend virtually.
Oh, that's great.
September 9th, so it's the second Monday every month
Awesome.
at 6 o'clock.
And online. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, board action is requested to approve the meeting minutes from August 27th, 2024 legislative meeting.
So moved, Ashley.
Second, Amanda.
So I accidentally closed mine. I'm a yes. Ashley.
Yes, and Tom.
Like, how did I literally closed it out as soon as you said it.
Sorry.
Not you, me.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to ratify and confirm the August 2024 general fund payments of $7,120,136.56 and wire transfers for $1,186,291.87. The following report for September 17th, 2024 will be made a matter of record for the minutes. The cash profit and loss are attached. So moved, Amanda.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is the regular general fund payment? Or the construction payment?
This is general fund only.
This is just this month? Okay.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve retirements, resignations, new hires, and solicitor approved agreements and leave requests of professional and non-professional staff. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? There are none, right? I'm not missing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
There's
blank.
one,
Oh,
there's
one, that's
under,
right.
operations warning.
Oh, it's on
Yeah.
the second page.
It
yeah.
wasn't on that last week, but yeah. You did give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Is it popping up for you, Latonya? There we go. Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the attached conference, field trip, professional development, and workshop request for September 2024 at a not to exceed $7,138.08. So moved, Amanda.
Second.
Discussion?
I won't do the budget again.
What would it look like to do much smaller field trips, much more localized ones, like going to the Grow Pittsburgh that's like right around the corner from my house, or like it's not 9 Mile Run anymore or anything like that, or even the
We
parks.
did the one out at, what's the old golf course?
Even
And
Chalfont.
I mean, even
Churchill,
closer than that.
the one in outside
Greenway.
of, yeah.
We did that one.
I mean, stuff right here in Wilkinsburg, like even going to Proto Haven, like as a field trip or whatever.
We need our meeting tomorrow.
Good deal. But yeah, like our parks and stuff, and like I said, Pittsburgh is right around the corner from my house.
And I know they do Frick at Kelly.
Or even like some of the bakeries if they want, or like some of the businesses if they want to do little like tours and stuff.
Is this the cost per student?
No,
No.
it's the total cost.
This is the total cost?
Yeah.
$1,000?
Yeah. That's why I mean, like, can't we do like some smaller ones too, like that don't really cost anything, like just
We can do
walk
whatever
down,
you guys want.
walk down to Madeline's and.
Oh, yeah,
let them
I mean, we
tour
could
what it
add
looks like,
more,
you know?
but like,
I
for
mean, for, as far as. the kids,
$1,300, we
yeah,
should
that-
take
that-
them
that's
everywhere.
nothing, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
$1,300, I wouldn't.
Anyway.
I'm good, I was just, I was just.
approve.
Send any-
Did I vote?
mean,
I
that's
did.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, that, I
This
Or
mean,
we get
I'm,
them out.
I'm glad to see you guys going out, getting your PD done.
get after,
Get the kids some PD.
well, yeah,
Motion
and
passes.
we were
I know.
spoiled
I
at
feel
pre-K with all those field trips, cause now I'm like, well, what are the kindergartners?
Well, that's what I mean, that's why I said, like, if we could get a list of
I
things
asked
that are
question last year too.
hyper local, we could literally just have them walk, we wouldn't even have to get a bus.
Yeah,
They could just walk there.
yeah,
Like, you could walk to Madeline's.
especially
from Kelly.
Madeline's, yeah.
You could walk to Biddles from Kelly. You can walk to the bookstore that's right there, Bungus Books.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like just see
Well, the
what.
classes are pretty small.
Yeah.
Like, if I had 26 kids, I don't want to take them on a field trip all the time because it's stressful. But with 2 adults and
2
20
adults.
kids, you can field trip all the time.
I mean, just walk around the neighborhood, you know? Okay. Board action is requested to approve the attached I'm set on the other one. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Board action is requested to approve the second and final reading of the new policy 005.1, student board representative. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Dennis.
Discussion?
I shared with some students, our nesting house. They
I do have a
were
question for you,
excited.
Matt. Because of the way it's structured and worded, I think we take applications in August. If we're passing it now, what can we do to try and get applications now? Do we just solicit them?
Yeah.
Okay.
The intent going forward would be that you have it set up at the beginning of the school year.
Okay. So yeah, so we can just solicit those once this passes.
So their seats will be school year based, or will we let them come in the summer too?
I think they serve the whole,
years.
The whole
the whole time we have sessions.
Well, right, but you know, our reorg is December, so if we're talking about the beginning of the school year, theirs would be a little different, but.
Yeah, their terms wouldn't line up with our terms.
Right.
But they would still go with our calendar, basically.
Okay, okay.
Motion passes. Yay, congratulations. Now we can get some student reps in here. Board action is requested to approve the first reading of policy 113.4, confidentiality of special education student information. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Dennis.
Any discussion?
Again, it's first reading, if you want to take a look at it till next month. Anything in bold is the new stuff compared to the current one.
Thanks for adding both.
Yeah.
It's helpful. The board docs little navigation thing,
Yeah,
nightmare.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's terrible.
it is.
Anybody who
Search for stuff
tests
is terrible.
or, yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, it's a good program, but just searching for things. Like,
Well, I just want to compare. I always have to go, and the way it goes back is confusing to me.
I'll just keep adding both from this point on.
I like it.
Michael, are you there?
I nerd out
We're waiting
about
on you, Michael.
software design all the time. This,
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the appointment of Grace Tata to fill the vacancy on the Wilkinsburg School Board for the remainder of the term. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion?
Yeah, for the remainder of the
Yes.
term,
It's 2 years. She'll have to run at the next election.
Yeah.
so we should probably specify
So I wasn't
through
sure, so I just kept
December
it.
2025.
It'll be, or November 2025, right? Because she wouldn't, it would,
Yeah, because the reorg would be December, yeah.
right. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, December 2025.
Do we
That's
want
what it
to,
would end,
do we
yeah.
want a remainder of the term, or do you
I
want?
don't know whose term we're talking about, whether their term expired in 2025.
think it's Monica.
No, it's Monica.
It doesn't matter whose term it is,
If Monica just got on, so she,
So
for 2
that
years,
term would be through 2027.
right, but 9 times out of 10 with PM, what the school board does is at the next election, she has to run again.
So it's December 2025.
December 2025.
Do we,
Do we have to make a motion to
You don't
amend
have to
it?
make a
No.
motion. Just have Bethany make that change.
the edit before the top the date, yeah.
We were just clarifying what the term is. It ends in December 2025. I'm just trying to.
And she would just need to register for elections when it comes around.
10 signatures.
I did tell all of the candidates that, by the way, too, that they are
Yeah,
welcome to run next year.
we'll have a lot of seats.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Grace. We are looking forward to having a full board through December 2025, and any members that, need additional supports to go ahead and make sure that they finish out their terms through December 2025, please let us know. We want to make sure that this is the board we're working with for the next 14 months. Yes, Grace, you have to be sworn
I
in.
have it written down, I'm gonna.
And I did email her. And we're gonna be here on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Board action is requested to approve the board secretary and board treasurer bond renewal for Beth Ann Ike and Belinda Johns in the amount of $100 each for the term October 1st, 2024 to October 1st, 2025. The funds will be paid out of the general fund. So moved, Amanda.
Second.
Discussion?
We added the treasurer's line, we talked about it, but we added that to the planning.
That's good on everybody's part.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the resolution of the $330,500 Gaming Economic Development Tourism Fund grant proposal for the cafeteria equipment upgrade and installation. The grant name is Nourishing Futures, Upgrading Kelly Primary's Cafeteria for Health and Efficiency. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Dennis.
Discussion? Motion passes. Board action is requested to increase Trans Associates supplemental proposal amount by $4,500, which will be paid by capital projects. This brings the total cost effort for Trans Associates on the Kelly Transit Study to $19,400. So moved, Amanda.
Second.
Discussion?
Oh, sorry, yes, Anton.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the attached request for services agreement with Steel City Academies for the 2024-2025 school year at a cost not to exceed $235 per scheduled school day. That is $42,300 per the academic year for the student. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion?
This is for one student, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yes, Anton.
Reluctantly.
I'm looking at this map. Are the red dots the crossing guards? Of the,
Yes, the red dots are. No, I'm sorry, the red dots are the bus
Bus
stops.
stops.
Sorry. Ashley?
You want me to do another one with the crossing guards on?
I think that would be a good map, yeah.
Another one with the stops and the crossing guards?
Yeah, that would help us a lot, I think.
I mean,
Motion passes.
well, even if they're on separate, like, we can
Yeah.
I'm just trying to envision this. It took me a while because it's not a real, I had to orient, I can't turn it, but these are the bus stops.
Yeah.
There's a different one for across the country.
Board action is requested to approve the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf PCA services for the 2024-2025 school year at a cost not to exceed $59,940. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? I just want to take a shout out to their community breakfast that's happening tomorrow morning. Got to go last year. It's really a nice time. You get to learn some things about what's happening in the community, and I can walk there, so.
Next.
And they're doing, Spagolo is doing their breakfast this time. They're the new coffee shop in Edgewood.
Oh, are they?
They are,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, this is not on this topic.
We'll do that.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the agreement with Soliant Health LLC to provide a sign language interpreter for the 2024-2025 school year at a cost not to exceed $82,200, which is pending solicitor approval. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? This is what we talked about, right? Okay. And this is the amount for the year, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But again, this is also tied to the other item, but it's also, if the student is not in there, we don't pay that amount if they leave that institution, correct? Or they
Correct.
don't, yeah.
We don't pay the amount.
I'm sorry, this also does trigger for me that we talked about with Jeanette, that should be giving us a presentation next month. Will that be an executive session? Or are there items that she'll have in executive session?
Possibly, I'll verify that, but possibly. it
Okay,
might
so we
be.
can try and schedule that ahead of time so that we know. Yeah. Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the agreement with, oh, sorry, my thing didn't update.
That's what mine looks like
Is
too.
it frozen? Okay, I'll read off the paper. Don't want to slow us down. Board action is requested to approve the attached federal program service agreement between Wilkinsburg School District and Steps to Achieve LLC for the 2024-2025 school year. Service fees are $125 per hour and not to exceed $7,500. Support will include the following: review of federal programs applications prior to submission, support and training for federal programs, fiscal and program activities 24 to 25, review of monitoring items required by October 10th, 2024, training for Director of Finance and Operations and Director of Student Services and federal programs around record keeping, accounting, and management of title funds, and documentation record keeping system ledger development for non-public funds. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Dennis, this is also part of the grant.
Part of the grant, it's gonna be paid for by the grant. Yep.
Yes, Amanda?
Oh, your whole thing froze.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It just decided to be incredibly slow. So I'll just go back in. Motion passes. High school property and general liability insurance. Board action is requested to approve the high school general liability and property insurance quote from Gallagher for $7,512. Last year, with the tentative sale of the high school, they offered us property coverage, but the sale date was unknown at that time. So moved, Amanda.
That's for the year.
That's
Yeah,
for
it
the
goes
year.
from 9/11, because I wrote it down from last time, 9/11/24 to
And the
9/11/25.
insurance is normal.
Yeah,
Insurance.
so we had two options on the general liability. We chose the cheaper option because you can see it would only be a $5,000 difference if we used it. So we chose the cheaper option on the general liability with CSU, but we also will get reimbursed if we sell it next month. So it'll be prorated.
Not to be a stickler, but I need a second.
Oh, sorry.
second.
Oh, sorry.
Ashley.
You're okay. Discussion.
I was like, why, you didn't even let her have 1 second, dang. We're talking about a vote.
But yeah, and if, so when the sale goes through, they will then reimburse us any difference in that amount.
Hopefully we can get that in the closing costs, we'll see.
Yeah. Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the attached addendum to the intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the Wilkinsburg Land Bank. This addendum is to adjust the voting threshold necessary for the district's proposal of property acquisitions and sales from 7 votes, which is a super majority, to a majority of a quorum of the board. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
And Matt did clarify, we only need 5 votes for this. And we did talk about it at joint tax yesterday too, and I told them, like, we're matching you guys, and they were very happy about that. Again, like, to have these sort of things be consistent across both of these agencies is very helpful for everybody
Less
involved.
confusion
Yes.
about everything, yeah. And I think that's our
That's a
root
yes
standard
for
all
Amanda,
of
mine's
us,
frozen
right?
again, sorry.
That's what we usually do, for the
Right.
record, is a majority of a quorum on
Yeah.
pretty much all of our votes.
Almost,
This is
almost,
realigning
Where
it
the
with
statute requires something greater.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's in what cases again? Oh,
Public school code, there's like,
okay,
I can give you about a dozen.
okay.
Budget one of them.
Motion passes. So now that that has passed, we no longer require a super majority for this item. Board action is requested to approve Wilkinsburg Land Bank's property acquisition. The lists attached are for August and September. The WLB board voted to create the 2 lists. 10 properties are located on Laketon for August and 7 properties for September on Laketon, Marie Street and Montier Street, and we're from the approved MBN list. The plan after acquisition is to sell to low to moderate income homeowners or to developers who are committed to renovating the properties and reselling them to low to moderate income homeowners. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? We had a little discussion at your update, which is that the bad ones got taken out.
And this is also, remember, property acquisition, we have not, there's no purchase. This is just like step 1 to deciding if we'll actually do the purchase. We gotta start somewhere.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the reservation agreement application from Lillishaw Soccer Academy USA to use Turner Field for an after-school soccer program and weekend camps. Pending insurance document, $100 facility fee, $30 administrative fee, and coaching clearances. So moved, Amanda.
Second,
Discussion?
we've gotten the dates and times all together.
We have the dates and time, but I couldn't have them come in to redo the paperwork yet, to put them on there, but, so it's still covered on those numbers, but we're gonna still work around football, has to work around football, he knows that. So it won't interfere with football.
We want to get to next, this is homecoming week.
Almost the end.
The
Mhm.
Granville will be up there, this is homecoming week, and the next week is the last season game. But.
We are doing that. Yep, I was
So
just
I'm
talking
so
to
happy about that.
Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah.
Motion
The
passes.
big team was they were watching films last night at Community Forge. So they're so cute. It's crazy when you look at them now. When I was a kid, I thought they were so old, like the Hornets, and now I'm like, oh my God,
Babies.
baby.
Board action is requested to approve the attached school nutrition program, SNP, agreement between Wilkinsburg School District and SNP sponsors and shared students. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? Motion passes. Board motion is requested to approve the payment of $5,220 to support the funding of the Westinghouse football team summer camp that includes 18 Wilkinsburg students. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion?
Yes, I just want to make sure that we're putting something in place that whatever organization our kids is in, we're willing to do the same for all parties, as I mentioned before.
That's what I was gonna say as well. And even if we pay like, say, half or 2/3 going forward, and the kids can either arrange, and parents can arrange, we could have hoagie sales or something. I just think, because we have so many different groups, we're gonna have to decide, if you have a clump of money at the
Right.
beginning of every year, we're not gonna know, because, if something goes out in
Right.
one month and something goes out in another month, but I just think we could offer a certain amount of payment, to these different groups, because there's so many different ones. I mean, it could be band camp, it could be something like we
Yes.
talked about last
Yeah,
time.
because
I don't wanna be,
the marching band is at Westinghouse.
And I
They're
just
looking
wouldn't
to
do the
start.
same
Yeah.
one the next year.
Yeah.
If we gave
And
to
I'm-
them this year, somebody else,
yeah,
and we need to just put parameters and
So I
define.
think
Do we
we
what
want
we're doing this.
to, do we want to consider thinking about that and then putting this back on next month?
We're gonna have, because my thing is, don't get me wrong, yes, I do think Dante's doing a great job. I'm not
Right.
opposed to that. However, we got kids all over the
Yes.
planet,
right.
and if we're
right.
gonna support part of our kids, we're gonna support them all.
So are we interested in tabling this, or are we interested in approving this now with the understanding that we're gonna work towards policies? What are other things that we can
I
do?
like the latter option. I don't know what the total cost would be. I'm not seeing it on this paperwork, and nor am I necessarily agreeing on this dollar figure for every kid in the future. But I do entirely agree that, yeah, we should vote to support the kids
Yeah,
to a reasonable amount. Like, we can't give them the whole budget, but.
Exactly, but that's what
I
I'm
agree,
saying.
Anton, I just think it should be equitable, that's all.
Right, that's it, yeah.
Absolutely.
and right now, we don't
Because-
have any way of really deciphering, we don't have like a pool of money that we devote to this.
Right,
we
yeah, we
budgeted
should-
for, and so we can't say like, oh, the Wilkinsburg School District every year will have $15,000 for
Right.
whoever applies, and we don't have a grant application process, we don't have any sort of
Any of
process.
that, yeah, but we just gotta be open to,
So if we set
like you said,
aside.
if the band comes to us,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they want $5,000, we need
it would be
to
real hard
I
for us
like
to
the
say
idea of
no.
what you guys were
spit it
saying
out.
per
Yeah,
kid.
because I know they're planning to take them
Either
to, I wanna say
allowance per
Howard for
student that we
homecoming.
could do per year, or.
I like that idea.
Or, yeah, I don't know, or like, pay, say we could do half, but I think a per cost per student might be the fairest way to do it.
Yeah,
Can we
So,
also define that for the students who are in our buildings?
right,
Because I think we could have a separate cost for those kids. Like, a lot of times the school will say, we're not gonna let cost be the barrier, we'll find
Yeah.
it for kids who can't afford to do
And so
things in
oftentimes-
their building. This is because these kids are in high school who probably would have paid for this otherwise.
right,
We're really contributing to our high schoolers who we would otherwise pay for the
right.
part of their
If they were in a building of
extracurriculars.
ours, we would probably support this program financially.
Right.
We never
Right.
paid $18,000 for football camp. I
Right.
can tell you
Right.
that.
So I've seen in other districts that be the education foundation, right? And so I'm wondering, what does that look like? How does that work? What does that entail? What's the board's role in an education foundation and getting that?
Well, right, or, I don't know, cause like I know for like the Westinghouse players, like they have like someone that like cooks for them before they go to practice every single day, like a dinner, right? So I don't know what they already have established and what can we do maybe to support that parent guardian body, if you will. Like when I was in Woodland Hills, we had a band parent, like
Right.
group that did all the fundraisers and
Yeah,
that's where I just went to a game and bought some alumni stuff that went to
Yeah.
the band, account.
Do
So
we need a small committee, an ad hoc committee? Cause it sounds like we have got a lot of ideas and we need kind of a recommendation for a path forward.
we can do that, but I also think that needs to be part of, because from the
Absolutely.
budgeting perspective, it needs to be like, can we really pull this off
Yeah.
year after year after year? And for me, I know this is late notice for us, and we wanna help the kids, but $5,200 when we've already budgeted, this wasn't budgeted, is like, wow.
Yeah.
But then if somebody else comes to us, just like Ashley said, if the band comes to us next week, we better be able to find the funds.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yep.
I know, I agree.
I mean, it's up
So
to you.
yeah, let's talk about who might wanna be a part of that ad hoc committee, and we'll get Beth Ann and Dr. Joe, and we'll get some ideas together, maybe somebody.
'Cause I think
Don't look at me. Look, why everybody, nay, nay. They want you to run the
depending how you want to
committee.
move forward, I think this is around $290 per kid. So, if you want to table it and come back and say, all right, does all $200 per kid or $250 or I'm open to whatever you guys want to do with whatever you guys feel.
Do you guys wanna table this tonight?
I think
We
it's
can-
better because,
Okay.
we still have ways to go this year and, band.
Motion to table item
Yeah.
14, Westinghouse Summer Football Camp.
Oh, I didn't, okay.
Look, and you said
To
band,
formally
what about the
table.
To
cheerleaders?
formally table, yeah.
What about the cheerleaders that's down there? So there's a whole bunch of things that can,
And also, let's remember, the reason why I'm supporting tabling it is that this has already happened. They've already spent this money, this is us reimbursing them.
yes,
Okay.
yes, it's
So
not for
that's
something
why
right
I'm
now.
like, if we
We
table it,
can
we're not
table it.
harming them and keeping them from another camp,
Okay.
Right,
No, no, no.
okay?
this was done over
So-
the summer.
My
Yeah.
motion is to table this.
Just so
It's
we
not
can
gonna hold it up.
formalize and have a more,
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Before
formal
we
going
just-
forward.
spend that money.
That's okay.
So I remove the vote?
Sure, if,
Well,
we'll
there's
wait
a
until we
whole-
see.
I don't
the
have a
motion
second,
to
I don't have a
table.
second, yeah.
Second,
Sorry,
Ashley,
what? Okay.
now we can talk.
Did you wanna run?
Okay, so now we can talk. All right. I guess I'm not against tabling it. I imagine that real human beings paid for this with $5,000 of their own money
Like
That was a lot of money
$18,000, right?
to them
Yeah.
on account of our students.
Yep.
And if we bureaucrat this process to death, it's going to be more dicey for them and more work for them to continue to support our students without any of our input. And then ask us to contribute something to that process. I do think we need to figure out what it is in terms of the total amount for sure. I'm not sure we need to do that in the name of holding up this money that this football team who's competing right now maybe could use. Because they're not they're taking the bus.
No, well, I thought I seen somewhere, this is going back to Homewood Children's Village, because they owe them money.
Yeah, could
They
you
must
please?
have funded
yeah.
some of it. When I asked Coach Green, he said,
Didn't you
because you guys asked me.
As a loan.
No.
I don't know if they donated, but it's gonna go back to, because you guys asked me to find
Yeah,
out
he
where
says
it
that
would
email,
go.
but if you could read it or just give us that information now in session, that would be helpful to this.
Because every year they get
I did
different
read
funding
it,
for it.
but
Like one year, Coach Green and his wife funded it himself.
It's,
It
yeah.
says all good, it would go to the Homewood Children's Village, it'd be directly used to pay for the cost of attending the camp. So they must have funded some of the Homewood Children's Village.
Well, see, even if this is 290 per our kids, I'd be willing to do 200 per kid and pass this tonight and just change the dollar figure so that they can get reimbursed or whatever.
But then can you change our previous vote from the last thing to abstain? We tabled this in the middle.
Wait,
Wait, we gotta finish the table.
You've got a motion to table, you do the vote
Okay.
on it.
Yeah.
Up or down, then we'll figure out what to do with what's on the.
Okay, thanks.
We don't want to table.
Yeah.
Yes, I vote yes.
I
Okay,
do too.
we
All
can
right,
say.
so now you can wipe those out. I don't know how you do a table on board docs.
Look, he's-
Yeah, just remove vote, I think.
Yeah, I tried that.
Is it not doing it?
Remove but this vote, yes.
Is it gonna be-
Yeah, for
Okay.
the sake of, I guess, the public record, I would like to abstain from this conversation. I did not know this smart, well, not this smart. The Homewood Children's Village was involved and I work for them, so
Yeah, so-
I should not be
yeah,
voting on
yeah,
this.
Yeah, we just
So-
found
I
out.
didn't know.
That was
that.
new,
Right.
yeah,
That
that
was a
just, yeah,
very
it
new
just,
Because you
yeah.
guys asked me last week, where would that money go
That is
back
new
to?
info that we all just found out, so you, yeah.
Well, because he works. for
Yeah,
them, we're not
so-
paying him. Children's Village, we're paying
Be
him.
quiet.
You just have to, but he
Okay.
has that prerogative.
Just so you know, you don't have to because we're not paying Homewood Children's Village. We're paying Westinghouse. Westinghouse is paying Homewood Children's Village. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't want to be involved in that.
And so, to be clear, we're going to table this. we'd like to have input given to Dr. Joe about the amount per student that we'd like to see, so that we can bring this back to vote on that at a different amount.
Yeah, that's-
And then, separate from that, we need to make some policies and or procedures regarding how we support students that are not in our buildings financially. Right, some sort of grant program or whatever we're gonna call it, we need to like actually structure it and outline it.
Yes.
And so would this come from the general fund, or would it have to be somehow budgeted,
This
right?
is general
We would,
fund.
next
yeah.
year, we'd want to budget, maybe,
Like to take a clump of money and,
doesn't happen often, this is the first time since I've been here, it's been asked, so probably,
right,
figure out, do we want to budget $20,000 a year, do we want to keep that? And then how much per kid?
Right, because like I look at the Little League, because I'm up there all the time. True, a good percentage of their kids are not Wilkinsburg, but you got about 45% of them kids is Wilkinsburg, so if they come in.
I think we should
And
just
if 10
focus
of
on
those
the,
kids-
I think we should focus, when we think about this, just on Westinghouse students.
oh,
But like, I think cause I get what you mean, but
Yeah.
the Little League organization is its own separate nonprofit entity, right?
Mhm.
But our public school extracurricular activities, just to generalize it, is specifically like our students that we're
Say
already
high
paying
school.
for.
High school, middle
And-
We do have an extracurricular policy we could look at and see what's in there or how we can
Yeah.
amend that somehow then incorporates what we're talking about here, because then it would narrow it down to strictly extracurriculars. And then we could maybe make some sort of subsection that says Westinghouse extracurriculars, right? And then we can identify like how we support them.
Mhm.
I know a lot of our policies kind of say things like that in other areas when it comes to like jointures with the borough and
Cause
stuff.
then we need to specify like their home school, right? Because,
We got kids at Obama, we got kids at Capitol, we got kids.
and what if they hit us up, right,
Right.
right,
So that's what I'm
right.
saying, maybe we just look at that extracurriculars policy and see what some other districts might be doing, or
Well,
what kind
ours
of
is gonna be
language.
unique, ours is gonna be
Right.
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that you guys would have to come, something that you guys would have to come to agreement on. Okay, does that include our magnet programs? I think it's a PPS, our 7 through 12, whether it be magnet, whether it be,
Mhm.
so I think, but that's,
Yeah, I
You
agree,
guys
we
know.
would have to go, because
And with the current school restructuring for PPS too, our kids would ultimately also be going to
Yeah.
Starrett
Yeah.
and Westinghouse.
Yeah, so if we make a
So-
policy that says Westinghouse, then we're leaving out Starrett, yeah.
Mhm.
So, we're gonna need an ad hoc committee.
My head's hurting now.
But yeah, because we need to do this kind of deliberation in public, and so that's why we need the committee, so we can announce, so we can like, advertise that committee meeting and do that, because we can't just email each other back and forth all these details. We gotta actually have this conversation in public
Yeah.
and let the public be able to talk to us.
Yeah.
But my suggestion is to kind of look at that extracurricular policy first, and then who would like to be on the committee? You don't have to answer right now. That you can email me.
Joe, could you share the policy with us?
yeah, I can share the policy.
Okay.
And that's all.
we might even consider,
Since 2005.
Yes,
They've all been like 0405.
Yeah.
we might even consider maybe getting a standardized form that kids could fill out
Exactly.
requesting money for, you know what I mean? If
Mhm.
they're
Yeah,
gonna-
a grant application process or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah,
is
that
that-
it would
yeah.
be a stipend or, I don't know, just a suggestion, but
Sounds like we need Denny on the committee.
I
But at
think
least
so.
that would help us
I think so.
identify where our kids are at, because PPS
I
doesn't
do
communicate with
understand.
us to that degree.
I want to
Well, I
support the
got some
kids, I
things
just want it
on
to
that
be
part.
equitable,
Yeah.
that's
You
all,
understand
and
what I'm saying?
affordable.
So, yeah,
Agreed.
we'll go ahead and
Yeah.
get some interested parties in being on the committee. We'll advertise a meeting, we'll do all that good stuff and talk some more about this. So we can bring something to October. Or November.
Yeah,
I won't
we're
rush
not-
us. It'll probably be more like.
So is
Like-
anyone else
Yeah.
present interested? You know?
I mean, I'm always
I'm
interested.
interested,
Yeah, yeah, we'll support you, Denny. I know you're carrying some pretty heavy committees too.
Well, it's okay, but
Okay, that was really good discussion. Thank you all. Board action is requested to approve the attached bus stops and bus drivers for the 2024-25 school year.
Sorry, can we go back just a step? I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
Denny, you mentioned a band. What is that?
band,
Yeah, you said they're like also band kids.
Marching band.
right, marching
Yeah,
band,
West
High school
yeah.
bands.
Oh, Westinghouse is marching.
Marching
band.
band.
Have they
They're
put in a
working-
request
they're
to
working-
us?
No,
They
but we're just
have
saying,
it.
we probably got kids down there, we probably got cheerleaders.
They're working on
Majority of
bringing
kids in
back
the
the
band are
marching
actually
band.
our
They
kids.
added
Huh?
that.
Yeah.
Majority of kids in the
recently,
band
They're
are
right?
our
That's what I'm
bringing back-
saying.
I know some PA folks
Cheerleaders
working
down
with
there,
them.
any of them.
They want to take them to Howard for like homecoming, because you know Westinghouse was known for like the steppers, right? And they're trying to,
We'll do an
Bring
ad
back
hoc
and-
extracurricular committee.
yeah.
That's what we're gonna do, ad hoc extracurricular committee.
And that would be
Do I need a
great,
motion for that? Okay.
and that would be great, because like we was just saying, we want elementary basketball. We want
Yes.
this, we want that, so that'll be. great.
Perfect, okay, sorry, are we good? Sorry, I don't wanna, okay. Board action is requested to approve the attached bus stops and bus drivers for the 2024-25 school year. So moved, Amanda.
Second, then Tom.
Discussion. So since last time we did update it with the map of the stops themselves, so we can look at the map, it is kind of sort of all discombobulated in orientation. But, you know, if you find your house, you can figure out where.
We're stopping.
It took me a
Twisted.
minute. I was like, what am I looking at with this
Then it
map?
flips.
Any feedback, input, discussion regarding these stops?
Okay.
Oh, feedback regarding the stops. I'm struggling to place them in the real world. My impression of them, just looking, was a number of them are quite close to one another. And there look to be some like sizable parts of the neighborhood without literally traveling it, I have no idea how much space is being covered. My thought, and the point of this being, I wonder if a like broader distribution of the stops wouldn't make it easier for some kids to get to their bus stop.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, if there's any way to look at sort of like a population heat map and put these dots on that so that we could see like maybe more people live near these stops and when the areas we see these kind of deserts, for lack of a better term, of stops, maybe, or dearth of stops, maybe that's,
Maybe there's no students.
right.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that would help us contextualize it.
That's how the stops are developed though, through the logarithm that they have. So based off the kids in our location, so that's how it's developed. Now we may, like I saw a stop on Friday. It's all in one location, but we may move it because of the safety concerns
Yeah.
right now.
But I think we're also concerned about how that algorithm gathers its data.
That I can't tell you. I mean, you
So-
might be able to get that.
So that's, I mean, that's, because for me, I know that a lot of times these things function with maybe outdated data, or maybe it's gathering it from something that seems innocuous, like say, census data, but that
No.
doesn't actually
It's,
align
it's
with.
based off the current student enrollment. Based off-
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it wasn't just some regular Euler circuit type of thing.
Right, that would make the most sense.
No, every year,
No,
this
it
system, it has to go off our current
It
enrollment.
No, what he's talking about is an Euler circuit, an actual, like, a tree, like, sorry, it's a mathematical, what a circuit is, like, an algorithm that you use to determine where the most optimal vertices are.
Yeah,
That's what we're saying.
Wow. That is some math nerdery that
Oh,
all
I
four
love
of you know off the top.
No, sorry, I have a
they
bachelor's
gave me fits in math class and algebra.
Euler circuits were like a jam. Like I, for like 3 weeks, would describe them to everybody I came across to. So when he said that, I was like, yes, I think that's what they're using. But I'm concerned about the data they're feeding into that algorithm. And so, because if you did bad data in, bad data out.
Who, us or the system?
Well, if the system is going off of what you guys give it, we want to make sure that it's clean stuff.
It would have to be clean because they're
This is
putting in the
like
kids'
enrollment.
I never say that it
registration.
has to
What-
be, but.
I mean,
It connects with, an infinite campus.
And how
so that
clean is the
pulls
data
in.
in Infinite Campus?
That's a bigger thing than, you'd have to have
I mean,
some,
what it uploads is the address.
Yeah, it uploads
So, I mean, it would,
it's
It
as
would need to
accurate
be-
as our student
Yeah.
information.
information systems.
Yeah.
If our data is wrong, on where our students live, which
Then that-
might
yeah.
be,
That's what I'm saying.
then
Yeah,
this will be wrong. But that is truly a much bigger issue.
right.
Well,
than
that's part of our
the bus
enrollment
stops,
check
right?
right
In the bus
now.
stops.
Great question, to spin off that. So now, the last 2 years, we've had somebody actually doing residential checks, checking to make sure addresses are correct. That wasn't being done before. So, which is
And
good
that-
and bad, because now we're finding a lot of people don't even
Don't
live
live
at those addresses, which is,
But that will help our,
Or it's grandma's house and they
Jermaine
live with
wants-
mom and somewhere else.
He put his hand up.
okay,
Is it okay if he speaks?
sure, Jermaine.
Jermaine, do you have something to say? We can't hear you, Jermaine.
I didn't even know he was on.
He hangs up, make sure we don't mess it up, make sure we don't mess up the tech.
His speaker
feel
went.
That makes sense. Is there an opportunity in that software that provides for some sort of community feedback to alter that, so, is there any way to say, oh, we have this additional piece of data we would like to feed into this? Or is it just, no, only addresses, that's it? So I think, so I'm a big proponent of saying that, like, the software is doing its job, but part of our job, especially as a board, is to say, okay, what's the human element that we might be missing from this? And I know from my own personal anecdotal experience that the stop that my son was assigned this year was farther away and more dangerous to him. And so I did get that changed. But maybe we could look at the procedure that we use to try and get feedback earlier, maybe, and say, okay, kids that live in this neighborhood, or however we want to define it, have been requesting a change from that stop, and we say that they're the ones that have to go to that stop, something like that, some human element to actually look at this and say, alter that stuff.
I do know from having discussions with Diane that she is, like Jermaine said, she does look at the routes. She has moved things due to just driving the streets herself and knowing for safety. And the secretaries are directed to let any parent know that may call about a concern, say something like that, to call her. And I know Diane is very accommodating.
She is, she is.
Changing and fixing that. I do understand what you're saying is there has been a few times where this system may have assigned them to a different bus and she may not have caught that, but I think it's less than more.
Yeah, and I do think that all I'm really suggesting here is like some sort of slight procedure change that might time this a little differently. I know it's really hard, right? Because enrollment looks different August 20th versus August 26th versus, and you need to get these things out in the mail. But maybe there's some opportunity there that gives us that. And I will say that, the statement, when you do get it in the mail about when the bus is coming, where it's coming at, does have Diane's information, and it's very easy to get a hold of her, and she's very responsive. So I just want to make sure that we're covering all that, like.
It's something we can look at for next year rather than changing stops and all that.
Right, yeah, I don't think we have suggestions for changing the stops this year.
Unless the parents.
And I think,
Yeah,
And
that's
she-
the
we-
individual
we've had-
Except the
base.
one that you just looked
Yeah,
at.
now if there's multiple parents, like, we can't change a stop because every parent would want us to drop right at their
Right in
house.
front of their house, yeah?
So, we already know that, so we have to do what's financially feasible for the district as well. And, our experience, but I did do a stop the other day just because I was worried about the safety of, and I had a parent contact, said I'd stop by. It's a multiple problem there. If there was actually crosswalks in that location, but there's no stop sign either, like, it's a borough problem, which then creates a school problem. If the borough would have had crosswalks and a stop sign, it's a good location, but there's no crosswalks or a stop sign.
So is there any
So-
sort of
So I
jointure?
may move it one block over
And
until
I
that's
would agree
taken
with that.
care
If
of.
there's no stop signs or
Right.
walkways, there's no sense in having a bus stop there. 'Cause
Right.
somebody's, yeah.
That's dangerous.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
And I did already reach out. I sent an email to the borough, the chief, and then, just to see for this week, because Diane wasn't in today, just to see if we can get some police presence up there.
Yeah,
Till we get that bus stop moved. And I gave her the times, and then I also emailed John Antonori to see if they can at least get crosswalks. Because even if we keep the bus stop there on Frank, move it one block, it's nice to still have crosswalks there, because it's a crazy intersection right there.
Yeah.
So,
are there any sort of jointures between us and the borough council that addresses these sort of transportation issues together, or is this just all?
like when we meet, it'd be like in summertime, we meet and have those discussions.
But we don't, there's no thing that has members of our board and
No.
members of their council
No.
that meet and discuss this in public, right?
No.
Is there an opportunity for that?
Probably the public safety meeting.
Yeah.
Because I think that we've seen that it's something that is very impactful to our families,
I
so.
forget which week, but the public safety meetings are on Tuesdays. Yeah.
And that is something we suggested for our own safety committee, right, is to start participating in theirs as well?
No, they
having
can
a
participate in
presence.
ours.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And I did review the survey that I got back. I reviewed those 13 locations with Diane, or went to those locations. So right now, it's just one that I went to on Friday that's the issue.
And the only
Maybe it
other
could
one,
be
like I
both.
said, is right there at Center and whatever that playground is, because you got
Center
Chuck
and
School
There
right
used to
there.
be one,
I mean,
remember?
I'll go
And
to
she
Saturday.
She
got
was there.
hit, she got hit by the car.
She got hit by the, well, she came back
Yeah.
She did.
towards the end of the year, so I don't know what
Two
happened
more
after
years.
that.
There's that playground there, so kids are always out there.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
darting back and forth, yeah.
And that's Puck, so that's all already a
I don't
busy-
understand why Pucks hasn't complained to the borough already.
Mhm.
So it's south and center, and there was one there, and that's also, again, like, when it comes to like the privates, it's Pucks and Sister Thea Bowman, and they used to have crossing guards at both.
Both of them, and these,
And they
well,
don't have them
I
now.
can't, I don't know if they have them in the morning, and they maybe just didn't show up in the afternoon, but I don't. think
I've gone
Sister-
through there, and I
I haven't
haven't
seen
seen
them
them at all this
I haven't
this,
seen Sister
uh,
Thea Bowman have none.
Yeah, Sister Thea Bowman hasn't had one for over a year.
Kenny was in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, the kids are not safe walking to schools, and like, we cannot solely solve that problem, but we have to play our part in it.
Right.
Because like, you should be able to get to and from school without being run over by a car.
Yes,
Even if you're a small child.
yeah, and that's why I feel like,
Especially
But I need
if
you
you're a
guys,
small child,
we also
well,
need to hold the borough accountable. There's a lot, those cars were flying
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Friday.
and that's why I'm saying,
Flying.
like,
You sit on 718,
is there a jointure
But
Oh,
opportunity?
yeah, I
here?
agree, yeah.
but if people go to borough meetings, and
Yeah, but
I think the borough's public safety meetings is the space where that could be discussed.
will they like treat us as equals, or will they?
I mean,
Not members of the
it's
public.
community members that are in that meeting.
But is there a path to us operating in some way that we already operate for something like joint tax or Parks and Rec, Or can Parks and Rec do some of this work, since we both have members on that, right? Can Parks and Rec?
It can be a conversation. Can
Yeah.
we get rid of this?
Oh, yes, sorry. Motion passes.
Yeah, but maybe we got to spark a conversation,
Yeah,
seeing
and I
what the
got it.
options are.
I don't know who sits on the grounds, safety committee.
Board action is requested to approve the PA Department of Community and Economic Development Multimodal Transportation Fund Grant Program for an amount of $805,260 for transportation costs associated with Kelly renovation. Wilkinsburg will be responsible for a 30% match, which is $241,578. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Anton.
Discussion?
Make that a comma, not
Not a
Yeah,
period?
not
I know.
period.
It helped me out when I read it right.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way it's just $200.
I was like, heck yeah. I like $200.
Same thing.
Michael, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, Anton.
It's just vote me yes for this one. My thing
Thank you,
is,
Michael. No problem. Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve Michael Rose as the Safety and Security Committee Chairperson. So moved, Amanda.
second, Michael. There's that conflict of interest.
You're allowed.
Can I say it's him?
Sure. Any discussion?
Speech.
Thank you, Michael, for doing the work, even though you weren't officially in that role yet.
No problem. My pleasure.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve the addition of a personnel committee. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion?
Yay.
Yay.
Do the committees need to be voted for?
We do have to vote on adding a committee that's not an ad hoc committee, right? So something that was gonna be ad hoc, then we wouldn't have to vote on it.
An ad hoc committee is just for a specific purpose.
Yep.
It has beginning and end, that it's not so long.
I thought we were using ad hoc to mean, let's have a meeting. Not some formal, there's a process for everything here.
Yes. Government.
Wow. Okay, and everyone's waiting on me.
Yeah.
I hope you're a yes, because the next one is
It's for you to do it.
Motion passes. Board action is requested to approve Anton Reed and Latanya Washington to serve as board representatives on the Personnel Committee. So moved, Amanda.
Second, Ashley.
Discussion? Thank you both for offering to do it.
Yeah.
I welcome your expertise
Suggestions, data,
and your
all
work.
of it, yeah. Because, you know, we're moving, we're working.
And it's
One step at a
done.
time, baby steps.
That's right.
Michael, did you want to vote verbally? Thanks, Michael.
Motion yes and keep moving. Did you abstain?
Motion passes.
My name is on it.
Yeah, but
You can vote for yourself.
I'm not voting for me.
Oh, my goodness.
You and I come from the same. Motion passes. Motion passes. There are no public comments on sorry. Yes, absolutely. You can be a public comment on a non-agenda item. Absolutely, someone.
I just wanted to share that, if you've not been on our website, the new pop-up is about Metro Community Health. So
Yes,
the dates are
I saw that.
set. Our first clinic due will be November 7th, so that's exciting.
Thank you so much.
The dates are all the way scheduled through December 2025. and they will always be on Thursday, so the community and families know. First Thursday at Kelly, second Thursday at Turner. So please share with families. This is an opportunity for not just students, parents, community members, you all.
Good.
You can see the services that will be offered. You do have to register first. I have to give a shout out to Riley, our social worker. She's really helped a lot with this process and getting things planned, and taking the lead on being the email if there's questions, to get, all families get registered. And then the next steps will be shared on how to get them appointed.
Awesome.
And in
We'll start in November.
Summer won't say this, but this Metro Community Health came across last summer when she was ill. When she got back, I passed it off. And it was numerous meetings, hours and hours of meetings here with Metro Community Health, and a ton of work with our nurses, with our staff. And she took the bull by the horns on this to get it to where it is today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any board member comments?
Yeah, just,
Oh,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say, where will they be at? Where are they gonna do these exams at?
They have a
In the
truck, they have
bus.
a
In that bus?
mobile,
Oh,
mobile
it's-
unit, yeah.
So you can't, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was making
No,
sure.
it's
So
really
there's
cool,
only
they
gonna
let
be
you,
limited
they
to
let
what
you
they can
tour
do.
it,
Okay.
every time they've done several, like, tours of it at the schools
Are we
already.
gonna sit it right in the parking lot at the school?
So
Set on the
Turner will be
street,
in
but
the
it-
inlet, out front, with Kelly prior to renovation and changing that area. We were gonna do this in that same spot, but they will be able to be like right in the parking lot. So that's why the times are from 10 to 2, so
Yeah, that's
they're not
fine.
there during pickup or
Dismissal,
drop off.
right.
So for Kelly, they'll just be in, the parking lot. But you'll see on there, they actually have 2 exam rooms, a waiting area, and a bathroom is all on that.
It's a decent size.
How are the services billed? Are they free?
So
insurance?
part of what they do is they work with a coordinator to help with if you don't have insurance or insurance assistance on how to get you signed up for insurance. They do, take insurance from families, but if you're a family that does not have insurance, they have like a slided scale, and they have a coordinator that helps to work that.
They have been my primary care for a while now, like 2 years now, I think, and, yeah. They're in Edgewood right now, but they are opening another location here in Wilkinsburg.
They're building.
And I went through the dental office at, the Edgewood location and the facility and the offices there. And I was just blown away with, their 2 floors that they have. They've
That's really
expanded
nice.
so much there at the Edgewood office. So families can also utilize their Edgewood location, or they are gonna be opening up a location here in Wilkinsburg. And I know they offer like support with getting rides. If, say, they need to follow up and they can't wait till the following month, that can transfer to those areas. But we're also hoping, if there's families that have your primary care, but there's a hold up with vaccinations or something like this, once we have this established, we'll have those opportunities to just have like vaccination clinics and things like that, besides just checkups or sick appointments.
That's great.
Thank you. All right, board member comments?
Yeah, I just want to share, trunk or treat this year is Sunday, October 27th, from 2 to 5 p.m. We would love if teachers are interested in participating to sign up. If someone from the district or just a teacher in general wants to participate, they can, call 412-932-8493 or email Dante at dcomans@wilkinsburgpa.gov.
Thank you.
And it's October
7th,
And what
2 to
time?
5,
2 to 5.
right in our parking lot, like we've been doing the past 2 years. The 3rd year, there will be hot dogs, nachos, of course, candy, and the flyer.
Can you send the
flyer?
flyer?
I can send it.
Yeah,
Send the flyer, yeah.
send the
I'll
To the
email
staff.
Yep, I'll email the flyer out.
And
And we can also post it first.
yeah, because I would like to have like two, at least, can we get 2 lanes filled?
Yeah,
That's what I would like
we
to
can
see
do that.
for the kids, right?
Sure.
But every year is such a good time, so I'm looking forward to this year. And what else did I just want to I did want to share about early voting because we have satellite locations this year. The Homewood CCAC will have satellite locations where you can register and vote on site October 19th, 20th, the 26th, and the 27th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's just a really big deal because the county needs to see numbers to continue having these options for early voting.
Do we got flyers for that we can post up places? Early voting and where the sites are or whatever?
There's stuff on the county website, so I
Okay.
could look and
Yeah, give
email,
us a
but because
flyer.
definitely put it up in
In the building?
your building, yeah, because we want to show
I'll
the
stay
county
around
that,
Hamnet too, yeah.
yeah, that this is, like, I'm voting early, like, I'm not even waiting for election day, I'm pulling up.
I don't know if I can, because I already registered to do my mail.
You can do your mail ballot
Oh, right
at the
there.
satellite
Oh, yes, I will
locations,
do
yep,
that. Okay.
yep, so.
I know, I
I tried
do
to
that.
take a mail ballot one time and it took 40 minutes. They were like, we have to extra special process it with the sideways, this, that, the
Insane.
third.
Yeah,
I was like,
they-
oh my
it-
gosh,
it-
never again. I'm
no,
just
it
voting
ha-
person.
It has been, but the last time they did it was 2020 and it just happened to work out that it was passed before pandemic hit. But they did it in the primary, but nobody knew, so it was low. So this general election is gonna be like a defining decision if they continue to offer this early vote. So I just wanted to share it publicly. If you live in Allegheny County, that is happening for the closest spot for Wilkinsburg resident, Homewood CCAC.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My comment is that I enjoy doing this work with all of you. Thank you all so much for being on this board. I appreciate your hard work, and I'm glad that we are a full board from now until next year, when maybe some of you will choose to run again who are on 2-year terms, but that's neither here nor there. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for everything. So.
We're welcome and thank you for handling all the things that we don't want to do.
And thanks for sometimes doing stuff you don't really want to do, but I talk you into. So thank you.
There you go, yeah.
And the excusal of absent board members. My thing doesn't want to load. Board action is requested to excuse the following board members from the legislative meeting, Ed Donovan and Charmaine Gamble. Once that gets through, I will say, so moved, Amanda.
Second, Dennis.
Any discussion?
So the only thing about this is start drinking these things, start trying to talk in the second, you got
I'm trying to set them in, yeah.
Swear how much sugar is it?
You ain't kidding.
That's what
I wouldn't be
I
able to sleep tonight.
That's what I didn't want to know, yeah.
I'm sorry, I logged out. You can do me yes.
Yeah, does anybody want to do verbal?
Yeah, cause that's really.
Verbal
Oh, motion passes. And meeting adjournment. Board action is requested to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
So moved.
Third, fourth, and fifth.
Everyone says yes.
Yay.
Again, thank you all.
Yes and amen.
8:42, not too bad.
Nope, not too
So,
bad.
this is
bad.
a record for me.
Is it?
Yeah, we've never got none here before 9.
Yeah.
You know, too bad we couldn't even do that in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have some information. My brother and sister-in-law live in Georgia most of the year, but they're up here in the summer.
Mhm.
They have a very successful land bank in Savannah, and a woman, not my brother, but I mean the sister-in-law, but they had a woman speaking that who's been doing this for a while. So if you're interested in information, I'm happy